The Dodgers lost 4-3. In Denver, the defending champions, the team with the highest payroll in baseball, walked off the field at Coors Field on the wrong side of the scoreboard. But that loss was not the story of that night. April 17, 2026. Ninth inning. 2 outs. Dodgers trailing. That specific kind of silence that falls over a stadium when a season feels like it might be slipping, the crowd quiets, the dugout tightens, the moment shrinks down to one thing. One at-bat. One player. Shohei Ohtani stepped to the plate. And he brought a number with him. 49. 49 consecutive games in which he had reached base. Every single night. Win or loss. Hot streak or cold spell. Whether he homered or walked or scratched out a single on a pitch he had no business touching. 49 games. And tonight it was either going to become 50. Or it was going to end. Will Smith got there first.
Pinch hit single. 2 outs, team down by 1, ninth inning, all the pressure in the world stacked against them, and then Ohtani sent a base hit through the right side of the infield. Clean, quiet, no theatrics, no celebration, just work. 50 games. And now that number is not just a number anymore, it is a permanent line in Dodger history. But to understand what it actually means, you have to understand who came before it. 1954, Duke Snider. Los Angeles was still Brooklyn, Jackie Robinson was still on the field, Dwight Eisenhower was in the White House, and Duke Snider reached base in 58 consecutive games, a number that has sat at the top of Dodger history for over 7 decades, untouched, unreachable, the kind of record that starts to feel less like a record and more like a permanent feature of the landscape. Then in 2000, Shawn Green put together 53 games, strong season, eventual Hall of Fame career, and after that, silence. 22 years passed. An entire generation of baseball fans grew up watching the Dodgers win and lose and rebuild and win again, and that number 50 stayed out of reach for all of them. No Dodger player got there until Ohtani started his streak in 2025. And on April 17th, on a night the Dodgers lost, he tied Willie Keeler, a Hall of Famer from 1900 and 1901, a record that had been sitting in the history books for 125 years. Tied. But this story is not really about the streak, because if you are only looking at the streak, you are missing the thing underneath it. The real story is how Shohei Ohtani got here, and that road was not clean, it was not smooth, it did not look like the road to greatness is supposed to look. At the end of 2023, his right elbow gave out again. Second Tommy John surgery. No pitching in 2024. The two-way experiment that had made him the most unique player in baseball history suddenly looked like it might be finished. He would just be a DH. A great one, sure, but just a hitter. Then in Game 2 of the 2024 World Series, he slid into second base and tore the labrum in his non-throwing shoulder. After that injury, he went 1 for 11 to finish the series. The Dodgers won the title anyway. Ohtani got his ring. But the question was louder than it had ever been. Was this body going to hold together? Was the greatest player in the world quietly becoming a collection of repaired parts? He did not answer with words. He answered the way he always answers. He came back in 2025 and did something that should not have been physically possible for a man who had spent most of the previous year in a medical facility. 55 home runs, 20 stolen bases, a 1.0014 OPS. He broke Babe Ruth's modern-day record for runs scored in a season with 146, and on the mound, in limited innings, he posted a 2.87 ERA. Then October came and he had that game. The one Dave Roberts called the greatest postseason performance of all time, Game 5 of the NLCS, when Ohtani hit 3 home runs and struck out 10 batters in the same game as a starting pitcher. Something that had never happened in baseball history. Not this decade. Not in Babe Ruth's era. Never. And now here he is in 2026, doing it again. 19 games into the season, batting .264, 5 home runs, 10 RBIs, 12 runs scored, and a streak that is still alive. The Dodgers themselves are 15-5 through their first 20 games, top of the NL West, 6-2 on the road. This is a team that knows how to win, but on the night they could not win, on the night Colorado held them to 3 runs, Ohtani still found a way to do his job. 9th inning, 2 outs, team trailing, base hit through the right side. That is the difference between talent and greatness. Talent shows up on the good nights. Greatness finds something on the bad ones. And now the question that baseball is going to be asking for the rest of this season has been placed on the table. Can Ohtani reach Duke Snider's 58? Can he break the longest on-base streak in Dodger history, a record that has stood since 1954? Can he do it while pitching again, while carrying a lineup that will go cold on him sometimes, while playing through whatever the next physical test turns out to be? Nobody knows. The streak is active. The season is young. The San Francisco Giants are coming. The Chicago Cubs are coming. And every single night is a new test. But here is what we do know. In 1900, Willie Keeler put together 50 consecutive games reaching base in a version of baseball that barely resembles what we watch today. Leather gloves, wooden grandstands. No night games. No analytics departments. No sports medicine. Just a man and a bat and an era that felt like ancient history by the time most of us were born. And that number, 50, sat in the Dodger record books for 125 years. Then on April 17, 2026, On a night the Dodgers lost, in the 9th inning, with 2 outs, Shohei Ohtani hit a baseball through the right side of the infield and tied it with 1 swing. On a losing night, in a game nobody will remember except for this moment. That is who he is. That is what he does. He makes history on the nights when everything else is going wrong. He reaches base when the game is already out of hand. He finds a way when there is no obvious way to find. The streak is at 50. Duke Snider is at 58. 8 games separate Ohtani from the longest on-base streak in the history of this franchise, and this season is just getting started. The torch did not just get passed in baseball. It got picked up by someone who refuses to put it down. And somewhere in the record books, Willie Keeler and Duke Snider are watching a 31-year-old from Japan rewrite everything they built, 1 base hit at a time.